Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Afolake and this is Flookiesden. On my last video, I spoke about survival jobs or transitional jobs and how you need to be prepared if you're moving to Canada and how to just equip yourself to be able to step into that professional role that you've been looking forward to. But today I'll be talking about something slightly different but kind of related, which is the work struggles that we all go through, immigrants, when you move into Canada, and the lessons learned. What are our take homes from the things that have happened to us while we've been job hunting, while we've been searching for jobs, while we've been taking transitional jobs, from the experiences of doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs, before you eventually get into the role or the profession that you've been desiring. All the pains, all the aches, and all the things that are not spoken about. So those are the things I will be addressing here today. That means if you've not watched my video where I talked about the survival jobs or transitional jobs, do go watch it. I'm going to link it up here so you'll be able to catch that before you jump back into this video. So like I said, we're talking about lessons learned and the struggles we all go through when we are looking for jobs. The differences between you searching for a job here in Canada and back at home is so different, because here you have to customize your resume for you to be able to get that particular job. That means if you have customer service experience, you should be able to work in some kind of roles because of that experience. And you must customize your resume in such a way that it tells the recruiter that this person's got the required skills, the required experience, the required hard and soft skills for them to be able to transit into that role. Obviously, back in your home country, you are in your role. Sometimes they move you into another role with or without experience, and you just begin to fumble and wobble until you begin to step into that understanding of that role. But here is totally different. You must be skilled enough to be able to do that job, or at least show some level of expertise in soft skills, in hard skills, or in transferable skills, whereby they know that when you come on the role, yes, you'll be learning something new, but at least you've got something to also offer. They're not paying you to have nothing to offer. So whatever role that you are engaged in, or whatever role that you've been hired to step into, you must be able to show or prove that you have that skill to step into that role. Finding a job here in Canada is hard. And for as many people that are looking for their dream job or their dream career fall on their laps, you've got homework to do. You might have your experience back from your home country, you might have those skills set, but are they transferable into that role that you're looking forward to? That's why people can still move from one profession to the other, which is a positive here in Canada. Many people have transited from one role to the other, which makes you kind of able to step into other roles. I know some people have been working in maybe banking, for instance, and they've been desiring to go into nursing, but something hasn't really made it possible for them to move into that role. So coming into Canada has given them that leverage that they can go to school, learn some skills, have some practicums, and then step into that particular role. And those are part of the struggles, stepping into something really new. If you're not young, it is tough because you're trying to learn those skills newly. Part of the work struggles will also be for you to get that first interview. So if you have a job that you feel you're qualified or that you want to apply for, and you go ahead to apply, you're waiting for that call, or at least your profile to show that they viewed your resume, or they're going to call you for the first phone call screening or something in that direction, and you still get nothing. I've talked a lot about how to customize your resume, and I'm still going to link it up here so you can go there and check out what you're doing wrong. There's so many things that needs to be done, and also because there are systems in which brings your resume forward as part of those that match what the job requirements are. So it is important for you to do it right so you get that call. So many people are qualified for a role, but 1 or 2 people might be standing out from the pack. So you want to be that one person or the second person that stands out so you get that call. Some people get frustrated because they've applied for so many roles and they are not getting that call. And that's why customization is different. Here you have to customize. You must customize your resume. If it's not a role that is looking for someone that is green or new to that particular industry, then you want to build up some experience in your resume to show that you are qualified enough to at least be entertained with a call to speak some more about it. And then you must prepare as well. When you eventually get the call, you must prepare to answer during that interview, which is another area whereby people don't prepare enough. They just feel that first call. What is important in the first call? When you make that first call, is as easy for you as getting that job if you prepare very well. Well, finally, you get the job. The struggle begins from the weather, from the timing. It depends on the job that you find. As you know that there are different kind of jobs, there are different timelines for jobs. There is shift work, there is the normal 8 to 5 jobs, there is 7 to 7, depends on the role that you're working on. There is part-time jobs, full-time jobs. So your schedule will be different per time, depends on where you fit in into all these jobs. So you have to struggle with those timelines. When I newly started my career here in Canada, I worked in a grocery store, like I said. My timeline was between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. That was the timeline, and that was when I was leaving home and coming back from work. So you have to struggle with that timeline. And of course, for me, I never worked night, no night shift, and it was strange for me. It was a struggle for me. I struggled really hard because I couldn't also find sleep in the morning. When I come in, I sleep like 2 hours or 3 hours, and I'm just awake, and then it makes my day very, very difficult. When it gets to around the evening period, I begin to try to sleep, and it just messes up my day because I also have to do some chores and cook and do all stuff at home. So you have to be able to struggle with that, whatever timelines your job is. Some people resume work at 3 a.m. Some, of course, if you're resuming at 3, you're closing like 10 a.m. Some people merge that with other jobs whereby they can still do 2 jobs at the same time. But whatever your circumstances, the struggle with timing here, because it's a 24-hour society whereby people work around the clock. So you will find jobs that you can do at any time of the day in Canada. The buses stop running around 12 midnight, but you can find cabs, you can walk. It's kind of safe. It depends on where you're going to. You can drive your car to work even at 2 a.m. I've closed at 2 a.m. before. In fact, I can't forget the first day that my shift ended, I think around 2 or 3 a.m. I was scared of coming home. Even though I was driving, I noticed the car that was just parked on the road, and there was someone in the car with it, and I was looking. I was just looking while I was driving. I was looking at my mirror to be sure that the guy is not following me. After that time, myself, I've built muscle to be able to move around anytime. So another struggle that we'll talk about is when you find yourself in a professional environment, or don't let it even me be partial, whatever area you find yourself, you're working with diverse people, multicultural people, and then you're trying to know them, you're trying to engage, you're trying to understand them, you're trying to know them better. The way you relate to the people from your country is so different, and the things that make for humor for you is different for them. Sometimes I see other cultures laugh about something, and I'm like, what's so funny about that? Yes, it's funny for them. They find humor in it. And the things that we laugh about too, they don't laugh because they are trying to understand what we are saying. So the challenge here is trying to understand ourselves when we work. So you have colleagues that are from diverse places of the world, and you need to understand how to relate with them. Some people don't like jokes. Some people don't like to greet you in the morning. Some people will not tell you that they are going home. Some people will not want to share what they are eating. They will sit in one corner to have their lunch. They don't want to sit with you. It's not like they hate you, but that is just the way they are. So you just need to understand. That means you need to be sensitive enough to watch people very well before you take a step. You need to observe and know what they like, what they don't like. I'm not saying just follow the crowd on what they do. You also, people are also watching you to see how you behave, and then that helps in approaching you better or relating to you better. So these are some of the struggles. But if usually when you find yourself, like if I find a Nigerian in the same work environment, it's easy to connect because we kind of relate faster, even if we haven't met before. It's easy to relate. We could just start with our usual jokes, or we can just share something that just connects, and that makes it easy. But for other people, you don't know whether you're standing well or you're sitting well, or because you are going to the toilet too many times, they are feeling like, what's wrong with this one? So you just have to be careful, watch for some signs, and just comport yourself accordingly until you feel at ease to be able to relate with them. But one other thing I will also mention is that just try and reach out. Don't be isolated. Don't feel because they are not from your cultural background, you feel that you can't relate with them. I don't think so. As much as you relate with them, you begin to see where you find some common grounds and where your conversations will lie, the things that you will be able to share. Some people, it might be just their children. They begin to talk about their children, the upbringing of their children, or how they pick and drop their children from school. Some people, it could be where they do groceries. Different things can just roll from those conversations, and you just see things that you can always discuss together. One other struggle that I know for sure is that for us back at home, we work, but we know how to play. And then we know how to take excuse, as in excuse from work. Like some people, they will say Fridays is like thank God it's Friday day. That's when they kind of tone down. Like in Nigeria, we dress casually. Is that you're in jeans or you're in your African attire on a work day, Friday, which just shows that you're toning down for the week. And those are times when people kind of close early. They run to do other chores that are personal without getting the deduction in pay. And all these things are just things to make people feel belonged within the organization, and they just feel that, look, they're not running away from work, but they know that within their job they still have a life. But listen, when you come to Canada, it's totally a different ball game. Working here, you unless or until you get used to the environment where you work, you must be excused before you do stuff. So you can't just abscond. You can't just say, I don't feel like coming to work today, and you don't call, or you don't show, or you don't tell your supervisor that, I have something I need to do. You can always book your time ahead, whether you have EDO, whether you have your leave, or you have casual leave, or you have sick leave. You can always book that ahead. So it's in your calendar. People know already that she's not at work today, or she's not at work on Friday. But you can't just wake up and just say, I am not going to work. Some people do it for those kind of casual survival jobs. They just abscond. There's nothing attached to that. But on a professional basis, you cannot afford to do that because someone is dependent on your own job to be able to execute their own job. So you cannot decide on your own and say, I am not coming to work. You must get the required approval, at least from your supervisor. Let them know, even if you're going to leave work for a medical appointment in the middle of your day, or you want to do school pickup within your day, until you know that it's safe for you to abscond, do not abscond. One thing I notice is that people silently watch you. They silently take notice of the things that you do, and then just do one mistake. The soup that you enter is more than the one that you imagine. So let's be careful. When you're coming is an orientation for most people, understanding, and that's what they call, the shock that you step into, whether culture, whether weather, work culture. There's so many shocks that come to you, and you don't want to import what you know. You're coming to a multicultural society. You need to understand how it works and see how you can best fit. Don't import and come and do the puzzle here, you will not fit, because it's totally different. It's just you among a lot. And even your fellow country people that have been here for a while have already understood that new puzzle. So you have to understand, and don't try to reinvent that wheel. Just try to fit in, try to see how it's really not convenient sometimes. Some things you just wonder. You were a boss in your country and you just go without saying a word to anybody, and now you have to tell one very young girl that is your supervisor that, excuse me, ma'am, I have to go do a pickup. I have to come home late. I have a doctor's appointment. And you're like, that's what you signed up for. But never mind, at least you're getting your dollars. That's what is most important. Of course, and coming from that angle is you happen to report to a younger person. Of course, where we were from, usually your supervisor will be older than you. Your supervisor will be someone that you respect, someone that you look forward to, that you can up, that wealth of knowledge from. And then you see the person, because they say wisdom comes with age, at least is older than you. But here it is not that way. You can have younger people, 10 years, 20 years younger self, can be your supervisor. And all of this is based on the fact that usually some people from grade 12 or even before grade 12, they started working. They've gained the experience, they've gained it over time, and then they begin to build upon their career, and they are already flying. So you come in as an immigrant, you have to respect the Oniless too. Bad enough, they feel you are coming to take their jobs. So you must temper your ego and submit. And that's what will help you in your career. You must temper your ego and submit to the authority. Forget the age. Don't look at the person, because in fact, we respect people well in our country. But here, they will call you your name, the name they gave you when they gave back to you. So you will not also feel that one young person is calling you blatantly by your name. So that's what exists. So if you feel that you are going to be having ego, that's why would the young girl call me somebody that is the age of my daughter? Don't call me. You will hear enough of that. So that's one of the struggles here. In the workplace, you find those kind of things happening. But look, when they know, based on your rapport with them, they know there's a way they relate with you too. No, they're also not disrespectful. So calling you by name to them is not disrespectful, but the way they also relate with you will show respect. It's a struggle. It's a struggle for so many people that are egocentric, and they feel somebody should not call them by name, or they feel that they are older than everybody. When they come here, it becomes a challenge for them, and that's why they can't really maintain staying in a particular place, and they feel here. But wherever you go, it's what operates around here in Canada. You will find somebody older than you find somebody younger than you, in fact younger pass, because you came to meet them here. So let me quickly jump into the lessons learned. I've talked about it variously while I was been speaking, and I say that, try and get your resumes right. Try and be respectful as well, because respect is earned, it is not demanded. And when you give somebody respect, you gain respect. So that also helps you in the workplace. Try and be efficient in your duty. When you have things given to you, don't lag with it, don't sleep on it. Don't bring the civil service attitude to work. It doesn't work here. Even though things are, well, it's fast paced, they call it fast paced, but some things depends as well where you work. People still take things chill, cool, easy when they work, as long as nothing is breaking. But you must bring your best foot forward. You must bring your best attitude. You must bring your readiness to work every day. If you're feeling sick, it's okay. You can always take permission to stay home. If that work demands that you can work from home, that's good enough for you. Otherwise, you want to take the due permission required. Don't just abscond. Don't run away from work. I would say just relate with everybody. Try and relate with everyone at work. Just say things that will endear you to start a conversation with somebody that you newly meet, and just begin to show up. When there are events in your workplace, don't stay behind. Show up as well. at least that helps you integrate better, that helps you to know people better, that helps you to, just broaden your network of people that you will eventually meet and know, and then you begin to build those relationships over the time.